Brian, over here to your left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the final play with Malik, did you want him throwing in the end zone? Did you want him spiking it?
No, we had a play that was called, and just wasn't aware of the situation as well. We just obviously didn't coach it well enough.
When you decided to punt late in the fourth quarter, was it a tough decision? Was it no decision?
No, I think it ended up being the right decision in that situation. I mean, we were backed up so much, we were giving up points if we didn't. You know, in those situations, you don't want to give up points. We would have gave up points if we didn't punt the ball there.
And with Kaiser, the first time he got hit in the head, did you have to run him through concussion protocol? And how is his status at this point?
He's clear. I just talked to our medical personnel. I don't know. That doesn't fall under my purview. We have a medical spotter and observer, as well as a medical team that observes anything relative to concussions. But, I mean, you know, we're talking about, you know, protecting the quarterback. And I've been on the wrong end of that play now this year at Syracuse and then here against Virginia Tech. I mean, that was clearly a quarterback that gave himself up and then was hit. So we're either going to protect the quarterback or we're not going to protect the quarterback. So I don't quite understand, you know, what the rule is because it's being officiated clearly differently. So, you know, but going back to your question, we have a medical team that evaluates all that.
Okay, just to be clear, though, after the second hit that took him out of the game, he's fine in the locker room?
Yes, he's fine. He's cleared. He has no symptoms. Yep.
Brian, to your right here, you had 299 yards total offense first half and 118 in the second half, and 67 came on one run. In layman's terms, what did Bud Foster's defense do in the second half to take your effectiveness away?
I mean, I couldn't tell you until I watched the film specifically, but you know, we missed some catch. We had some balls that were catchable that we didn't catch. You know, I just don't think we executed quite as well offensively. But you know, I'd have to really watch it specifically to tell you. I thought we weren't as sharp in the second half as we were in the first half.
When you strung several 3-and-outs back to back. When that's happening, and I know you have three people that are making decisions or contributing to the decision making. I mean, do you take over a little bit more in that situation, or are you just kind of throwing ideas out to spark something?
You know, too many cooks at that point really create a problem, and so, you know, I'm trying the best I can to, you know, offer, you know, some solutions, but, you know, you really have to trust in the play calling and the execution, quite frankly, is part of that. So it's play calling, it's execution. You know, we had some opportunities that we didn't convert. And you know, it was really a tale of two halves. You're right. I mean, you know, obviously, offensively, we got it going very well in the first half. In the second half, we weren't as sharp. And I need to kind of watch the film to find out exactly what that was.
Thank you.
Coach, it didn't seem like there was much of a pass rush, and then Evan had a lot of time. Was it the fact that he was getting the ball off fast, or do you?
I think when he had, you know, down the field routes, we were forcing the ball. You know, we were giving him some pressure, but when he got into his 5-wide set, the ball was coming out too quick. You know, we weren't going to be able to get to him. It was catch and release. You know, and then there were some matchups we didn't quite like. You know, their fullback is, you know, when he's in the game, you know, you have to be careful with your personnel. you can't take out and go dime, and so you get some favorable matchups, and they were able to exploit that matchup a couple of times. So, again, in answering your question, I think they have some personnel matchups that make it difficult sometimes to get the right guys on the field.
This might be the same answer you gave Tim, but Deshaun obviously wasn't as accurate in the first half. I think he was 13 of 18. Second half, I think 3 of 15. Anything that he was doing, you think, or do you think it was the defense?
I think there's a little bit of both. I mean, we had some opportunities that we missed in terms of throws. We had some catches that we didn't make. I don't know that, there's one thing. When I caution you about watching the film, I think there's a lot of different things. I don't think it's just one thing. I think there's maybe a couple of protection issues. I think there's a couple of routes that weren't run properly. I think maybe a couple of things that we could have done better in terms of play calls. I think it was just a little bit of everything. I don't think there's one specific thing that I can put my finger on. Yeah.
Brian, did you get a look at the PI call against Cole Luke?
I did.
And your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not going to listen. Virginia Tech won the game. It's not one play. We teach that. I told him that he did exactly what we asked him to do, and that's force the defender up the sideline. So he executed the technique that I've been told over and over again when we have officials that come to our practices and tell us that technique is acceptable. It was not an acceptable technique tonight.
You've bounced back from difficult losses before in terms of effort. Is this one any more difficult to come back from just with senior day? I mean, you see players on the field, tears coming down.
These kids are wonderful kids. I mean, I'm lost for words really as to what to tell them. It's just been a difficult year. They work so hard. They play so hard. They've been ahead in so many of these games and been so close in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, it's one of those years where I haven't had one like this in my 25, 26 years of being a head coach, where it hasn't gone their way. And it's not just one thing. It's a jump offside here. I have the quarterback and I didn't pick up the quarterback in zone read, or it's just a little bit of everything, unfortunately.
I mean, do you wonder if this team will have it next week, that they can withstand this after the rest of the season?
I have no doubts that they will have the effort, they'll have the intensity, and they'll have all those things necessary. But they're going to have to battle again late in the game and find a way to win the football game, because we have not been able to shake, the little things that keep cropping up. Now, it'd be nice if we could figure out how to protect the quarterback with officiating and things of that nature. That would help us out a little bit too.
Thank you.
Brian, over here to you. This is just kind of a follow-up with what you just said. This is game 11. It's just like deja vu all over again. You get a 24-7 lead. You have all of the momentum going your way, and it's just like the balloon pops. You've never been through this before, I suppose. Can you try to put it into words? I mean, it just is happening over and over and over again.
I just love our kids. I love the way they battle. We're going to wake up from this nightmare, and we're going to be 11-0, I think. Maybe not. I just don't have any. They work hard. They do everything I want them to do. There's some things that we're going to have to do in the offseason to address it, but there's a lot of inexperienced players that are going to benefit from this. I'm not benefiting at all being in front of you, losing this football game. It's not helping me any, but it's going to help those guys that have gone through it. So we'll bank on that.
Anything else? All right.
Good.
Thank you.
There was one question. Go ahead quickly.
Coach, just quickly, you mentioned how you need to get the officiating right on Deshaun. Because he's a bigger quarterback and also a mobile guy, runs a lot. Do you feel that the refs kind of officiate him differently than they would a smaller guy or a pocket passer?
I'm going to ask him to go see Roger Goodell. I think that might be the way to do it. Maybe he could do something about it. I think Cam Newton feels the same way in the NFL. It's just not right. I mean, we're either going to protect the quarterback or we're not going to protect the quarterback. I've had this go against me, the same exact play, and we lost a kid for the game. So we just have to figure out what they want to do with this. And the supervisor of officials has got to make a clear edict as to how they want this officiated, because he clearly has not made it clear enough how this is going to go. So that's all I'm going to say on it.